Hi, guys. And you know that we have been requested to interview people that were with us in Egypt. And today, Mish and I have the absolute pleasure to welcome Ammoye and Tye, all the way from Toronto.
Mm. Hello.
Hey, hi, hi.
Yes. Hi, guys. Do you know that you do have the picture of Wanaka behind you?
Yes, I remember that from our session together. Yes. It's a sign. I say it's a sign. It's a sign.
No, it's incredible. It's incredible. So, how are you guys?
Amazing. Yeah.
I'm doing good too. I'm doing better now. It took me a while, but I'm doing better now. I when we first got back from Egypt, I had a show right away, and I think Spirit just gave me the energy that I needed to be able to do that show, and gave it my all. It was a blast. I had a blast in that show, and then the day after, I crashed, literally crashed. I was sleeping every day, just all day, sleeping. With these interesting dreams coming through. It was a lot of integration, assimilation, acclimating, all of that happening, downloads and upgrades, all of it happening, you know?
Oh, when you speak about a show, what do you mean a show? For the listeners, I know.
Well, I'm a professional recording artist, singer-songwriter. I do reggae music, reggae fusion, grew up in Jamaica. And so my base is reggae. I was raised in the church. I started out in the church, and now I do inspirational music through reggae, fused with other genres fused in there, like jazz and soul, and all of that beautiful music together.
Oh, so do you have a songwriter, or do you do your own words? How does it work?
I write my own songs. I'm a songwriter as well. So I write my own songs, inspired from Spirit, and then I share it with the world.
So how do people get hold of your music if they want to follow you or listen to what it is, how you sound?
They can find my music anywhere they purchase their music online. I'm on iTunes, Apple, Spotify, wherever, Amazon, wherever you buy your music. Anywhere you buy your music online, you can find Ammoye, Ammoye.
And Instagram as well. Aren't you on Instagram?
Yes, I'm on Instagram. I'm more active on Instagram for social, as a social media outlet. I'm active on Instagram at Ammoye's Music, Ammoyes Music. Same handle on Facebook and Twitter. And I'm on TikTok now. My manager's like, you gotta get on TikTok. I'm like, really? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you gotta get on TikTok. So now I'm on TikTok.
Ammoye.com.
And my yes, you can find out anything about my music from my website, ammoye.com, Ammoye.
Awesome.
So I think we got to go for it, Mish. Yeah.
Well, I think that what we're all chomping on the bit for and what people are wanting to hear is about the activation. How was the activation, and what do you guys remember? Because even Jill and I just sharing last week with one another, we both remember different things at different times, different timelines. But how would you guys feel about sharing what came through and what you were directed or guided to do once we went into the perimeter on the 26th of... Actually, let's first of all start. What was the calling to Egypt for you guys?
For me, it was this lady. I'll be honest, I didn't really want to go. I was resisting. I just wanted to kind of do my thing here at home, but
work. He's all about work.
I can focus on other things, but I get caught up in work. I enjoy what I do. So yeah, this lady just she convinced me in her ways, and I don't regret it. A few months before the trip, my whole attitude had changed, and I was very much looking forward to it. We had quit drinking alcohol. I love my wine. I love my beer. We totally cut that out. I love coffee. We cut out coffee, and just preparing mentally, physically for this trip. And we were ready. I was ready. So I can speak for you. Yeah.
For me, it started because I follow Jill and Michelle, and you guys have become two very special people on my spiritual journey. And I remember watching your session together when you guys came in jail and said you guys are going to go to Egypt. And I sent you a message after after that session. I was like, we're going to Egypt. I'm coming. I'm coming to Egypt. And she was like, I don't know, boy, it's quite expensive. And it's kind of last minute. It's only next year. Next year is like tomorrow, basically. It's like it's a short time to prepare. People need to save and all that. And I was like, Spirit will make it. Spirit will make it. I didn't even know how I was going to make it happen too, but I just knew I was meant to be on that trip right away. I've always felt this calling to Egypt from when I was young. And when I heard that, I knew that this was my opportunity to come to Egypt, to go to Egypt with you guys. And as Tye was saying, I also knew that he was meant to be on this trip. I just knew it. I had a session before with Jill, my first session with you, and in that session it came out that my grandfather came through that session. I don't know if you remember, but his name is his last name is Evans, and Tye had changed his name before we met, his last name to Evans, and he came in. Jill wouldn't have known this stuff, but
No.
he came in that session and said he was in the room when we met. And long story short, that us coming together, it amplifies our energy to activate people when we're around people and to do the work we do. And I always knew too, as a musician and a light worker, as an artist, I knew that I looked at myself as an activator. I call myself an activator and a healer through music. And so when I heard that, it was just a lot of confirmation was happening. And then when I heard that session with Jill and Michelle talking about Egypt, I knew that we were meant to be in the country together.
And to be honest, for me, it felt like it was complete having you guys there. It was wonderful to have you there as a team, because we didn't have a lot of couples. And it was just interesting for me how my energy was always being guided. You guys made me feel safe. So thank you for that. There was just something that I think I drove you mad with my.
Oh, we loved it. We had Michelle and Jill withdraw when we got home. Well, actually, the whole group. Sue, all of y'all, just you guys, was very special place in my. It was an honor to be on that trip with you guys. You have no idea, no idea.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was for me. It was like in my day-to-day life in Toronto here, I spend time with regular people, and in Egypt, I got to spend time with a lot of us. I'll call it ascended beings, right? So,
irregular people, like an irregular heartbeat.
Right.
Yeah, it was just such a pleasure for me and to hang out with the gentlemen who are on the same journey. It's really special for me as well. I think I'll just say this. I think as the masculine and as the gentleman in this world, we need to step it up when it comes to spirituality. So that was a real treat for me. Gentleman.
Because a lot of times when I drag him along to these spiritual things that I do, he's normally the only male.
Yeah.
The group
Yes,
holding
that's why I
space
say
for
that.
us females.
Yeah.
But this is, it's a part of what you're meant to do. So be an example.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, the other night, Brent and I had an event in my home, and we had 2 males, 17 people, and 2 of them were males. The rest were all female, of all different ages. And it's so important, I feel, for the masculine energy to start integrating what needs to be shifted in order for this new wonderful earth that we're all wanting and creating. It's letting go, because my assumption is with regards to a lot of the heaviness in the world, if you look at it, a lot of it has been masculine dominant for centuries. So now the feminine's coming in, but we could go off on a tangent with that. But let's go back to the pyramid.
Yes.
How was that for you guys?
You want to start?
Sure, I'll start. I'll just kind of say my experience. It's funny because we had these headsets on, and our tour guide would
Ravi?
talk, and Ravi, he was amazing. Like,
Master.
Like, man, master. Ravi was truly a master. But when he was talking, he kept bringing this like this, and I'm like taking the earpiece out, and what's going on? And I put it back in, and I would hear it again. Anyways, it was very strange. And so that was that. And then when we were going down into the pyramid, it was just this like massive amount of energy hitting us, and I was not ready for it. Felt like I was gonna throw up, and felt really claustrophobic because it's really tight on the way down there. I'm like, oh my goodness, if it's tight like this all the way to the bottom, and it's tight at the bottom, I don't know how I'm gonna make it. But and I know, Mish, you were having some challenges there as well.
Felt the same. Like there's no windows. What do you mean there's no windows? What were
Yeah.
people thinking?
Yeah,
Like, how
and
did
so
it?
so I was honestly just trying not to throw up personally, and I just kind of sat down and breathed and was able to feel a lot better. So that was kind of leading up to entering down into the pyramids.
For entry. I remember I was told that I needed to set the tone from Jill, set the tone for music. And I remember saying to Spirit, oh my God, what am I going to sing? What am I going to do? What am I going to sing? And when we got to the opening of the pyramid to go inside, I said to Michelle, do I go now? And Michelle's like, we're all trying to figure it out. We're all trying to figure this out. And as I stood there waiting for everybody to get organized and figure ourselves out, because we were all like, I feel like we were all like trying to figure out what was going to happen. We didn't know. None of us knew what was going to happen. We just going with the flow. And I stood there, and all of a sudden it just hit me. Spirit said, you're going to do I'm Singing. I'm Singing. Just the song just came to me. And this song came to me a few years ago. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Pion. Lee Carroll channels Pion.
Yeah.
And he was he was my first during my awakening in 2012 when everything changed for me so drastically. Pion was one of the first teachers that outside of the church, because I was raised in the church. And I had different beliefs up until then. Pion was the one who eradicated everything. I always knew growing up from Jamaica, I was always that little one, even in high school and in primary school, calling my friends, let's pray, I'm bringing this together. But I always knew, even being raised by my grandmother, that there was, it was church and school, church, that was it. And being in that environment, people will probably call it indoctrinated, but I am very grateful for that foundation, because it opened me up to Spirit. And coming to 2012, back then I always knew that there was more. I always knew there was more. And in 2012 showed me exactly there is so much more than what I was being taught then. And he came to Toronto. I dragged him to a few of his gatherings. And one of what they always do these sister circles after the whole gathering. And it was all female, but he was there as male. And I think one more gentleman was there holding space for the females. And we were taught this song this was a song that they sang in the Maria, as the women would do this when the men came back from their gatherings and hunting. And it was a thing to bring us all together. And it just came to me that this was the song that was supposed to use to bring us together.
Sing it.
I was going to say, can
Sing
you
it.
sing?
Oh my God.
Dude.
These guys are
You on the
always
spot.
trying to get
spoke about this. We spoke about this last week. I don't know, Jilly, if you can remember. And it was, for me, the discombobulated of all of us and confusing whatever. You brought it together in the music and just bringing, like when I looked around, because I was still like Tye, even though I felt a little bit better in myself, all that energy in that chamber, I was like, oh my God, I need to breathe. This is just too much. And I just kept going sort of like in and out. And then when I heard your voice and I just watched you and I followed you. And then that was where you were bringing it together for me. That's what it felt like. So please sing it.
And before you start, I don't know, did Bettina tell you how she felt when you held her hands and looked into her eyes and sang that?
I don't remember. There's so much that happened. She might have, I don't remember though.
She said to me, Oh my gosh, Jill, when you held her hands and she said you looked into her eyes, she said she recognized your soul. She said, I know. She just knew you.
Wow.
She said that she was just absolutely connected and poof.
Beautiful.
Even Renzo said something similar. Renzo said something similar as well. But yeah, so I'll sing the song for you. I just want to get into the tunnel. Into the pyramid with you guys first. I went after we decided that okay, now we're gonna go in, and then now I knew what song I was gonna perform or sing. We were going in, and all of that was happening. Michelle was going through her birthing,
Her painful legs.
her labor pain.
What was that like out of interest? Because I remember Jill and Laura being here, but what was that like watching that whole experience? Because I remember parts of it, but it was just like crazy.
You were in front of me, and you were going through your thing, and I'm sure it was overwhelming because we were all feeling a little overwhelmed by the energy, intensity of the energy that we were feeling, and just being in that moment too. It's like there's nothing. I can't describe it to anything because I've never had that experience before. I felt like we were all being ushered into this moment to do something bigger than us. And so there's a sacredness in that knowing as well. And so when you were going through that, I knew it might have been some fears coming up for you as well. And I sensed that, and I started to send you light. I was sending you light, and I was like, nothing's gonna stop us from doing this mission. I was like, nothing in my mind. I was like, nothing's gonna stop us from doing this mission.
Wow.
And I was sending you light, and eventually, Laura helped you, get into your center, and you were ready to go in, and we went down behind you and holding space for you, because I remember I was literally holding the light over you as we were all going, and all of us going
Thank you.
going
Wow.
down that road.
Wow, we didn't know that, you see. Yeah.
Thank you. Wow.
Yeah, same for me. I was just sending light, and I mean, once we got to the bottom, thank God it was very spacious. So lots of room. Well, except down in the one chamber, it wasn't huge, but right when you get through that tiny tunnel, lots of space. It's like, oh, thank God, praise Jesus, hallelujah.
Because I remember hearing your
Yeah.
voice, Ty, when I was like, I can't do this, I can't. I remember, and I'm like feeling all sorts, and you were saying, I just remember you saying, I'm feeling the same. And I think I
Yes.
sort of kind of looked back, and I remember thinking, okay, we'll be outside. Like Spirit said, something
Yeah.
we'll be outside.
No, I
we'll just
wasn't gonna let you go up. No, I wasn't gonna let you
Me
go.
either. I was like, no, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
beautiful though. Thank you. So that you see how we all just came together already in alignment, which is magnificent without even knowing this. Wow.
And I kept on thinking, if this carries on, how the hell are we going to carry Michelle back up that and that she can get to
Yeah.
hospital? Because I thought, at what
Right.
stage is this going to become like
I
really
know.
serious?
Right. I remember thinking too, how did they make this? How did they make this? Those people must have been really tiny. How did they do this? It's
Yeah.
fascinating to me.
Mm.
Creating that little space to go down and then to be like, how did they manage to build that? It was amazing. And then going down, we got down to the end of that little tunnel part to get into that space before we went into the room. Then they were trying to get that lock off. I remember that big lock and the pounding of like, oh, they're that pound. That was it was I felt that each pound that he was pounding that lock to open it was just sounding this a resonance of a sound that was opening up space for us.
It's kind of like
Getting
sounding
rid
of
of
the gong.
yeah, it's like it
Every
was
time.
opening up space for us.
Yeah.
He didn't probably didn't realize what he was doing, but he was playing a part with that pound. It's like, yes, this is we are ready. We're getting ready to do the work that we came to do.
Yeah, there was something about that too. There was a purpose for that, because there was a reason they left the key for whatever. I don't know, to activate the pyramid prince.
I just felt like it was
meant to be.
yeah,
They
it
were
was
just
opening up.
owning-
The energy was just opening up. All that old energy had to be released before we got into that. I felt that sound that was coming from that pound was crashing all that energy that didn't belong, that needed to be released.
Yes.
before we got to that space,
Wow.
into that room. Yeah. And there was so much that happened. And even coming into the Zoom, I was thinking, I remember everything. This is so much happened. So much was going on. And I just remember looking at everybody and was like, we all came from all over the world and now we're in the same room together. Like how this, like Spirit, you are something else. Like I don't know how you made this happen. You made this happen. Look at it. I'm just checking out everybody. I'm like, wow, look at, and everybody's just in readiness to do what they came to do, regardless of fear, regardless of whatever. Everybody was just, I'm here to do what I came to do. And I kept on saying, in myself, this is wow. I can't believe I'm here.
It was kind of like we all had no idea what we were going to do or what was going to happen, but we all like we just knew at the
Really?
same time it was going to fall in place.
Yeah, we're open to making it all happen.
Isn't that the
fully.
beauty of our souls and our higher selves knowing
Yes.
that
Yes.
no matter what we've been told, no matter what we thought, no matter what, and Jill and I discussed this week, you know, that I'd felt an incredible sense of responsibility and what did I get right, what did I get wrong, you know, based on what we were led in our hypnosis sessions. And just I remember sitting and watching everybody in white and thinking, wow, exactly that, like how the heck, wow, like there's just there's no word sometimes for that expression. But
Exactly.
you know, the old thoughts of even Jill going, but nobody's got money and how's this all going to happen? And I was like,
Human in us.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So what a beautiful, profound moment to actually just go, here we are, and it's happened. You know,
Yes.
beautiful.
It was
Hey?
surreal, hey?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was- yeah.
Wow.
And it did something for me too, even being in that moment and with all of you guys and coming together like we did from different circumstances within our own lives and being able to make it happen. I trust Spirit even more.
Mm.
Because I honestly didn't know how I was
Yes,
going to
yes,
financially, but they made it happen so easily. When I look back and I sit back, what is for you will be for you. And when but even today I was talking to my friend before I came on, and she was like, it's your destiny, man. You're walking in your destiny. And it's true. Like we are walking in our purpose. And when you are in alignment with that purpose, everything just opens up and it just flows into. And I feel like I'm so much more in my flow since Egypt. Like I feel so different. I feel so changed. But before, because I can go off into that, telling you what I've been experiencing since I came back. But after that thing came off, it finally got that the door open, and we all went in. I'm trying to break it down because there's so much, but I'm gonna break it down to the important parts that I feel is important. We finally got into that little chamber now. We're all standing there, and then Jill did her little thing to start the, get us ready. And we were literally standing in like a kind of a circle, if you will. We're all like on this side of one wall, and then I feel like it was a semicircle, if you will. And then she said, okay, it's time to do your reading. I started to hold up my, I felt like Spirit was moving in me. And I knew, okay, so this is what I'm doing. And I tell you one thing though, when this was happening, I was like, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? I'm like, stop it. Follow your intuition, do exactly what you're feeling you need to do. And so it's like, okay. And I put that to the side, the shadow, the monkey brain to the side, and I did my thing. I held up I went to each person, and I was led to hold our hands together, the palms of our hands, to exchange energy and look into the soul. Eyes are the windows to the soul, is there one to say? I love hearing Alba saying that to me when she does her session. Eyes are the windows. So I felt that too when I was looking in each person's eyes, and then I sang the song. You are so good. You are so good. And I remember as I did at the end, and I felt the energy moving through my hands, and I was just going with the flow of it, and I went around the certain things with everybody, and it felt so moving for me. I felt like in that moment, like I was just a conduit for spirit, and I felt. There's no words to describe. I felt like I wanted to cry, and I was trying not to cry because I knew I had to finish this. I had to finish going around the circle. And I was thinking, oh, there's a lot of people around the circle, so we can't be crying. We gotta get around this circle and get it done. And it was one of the most beautiful experiences, setting the tone for what we were about to do in that one.
So just so you guys know, there's a setting I think on your Zoom because we weren't able to hear the song. So just repeat the words to us so that everybody could hear it, please, because I know there's something sometimes on Zoom where there was a kind of an in and out
Lag.
lag.
I
Yeah.
think it was because you were turned and you were
To the side.
hard. But
Well,
if you
I can do it like this. I can
sing
do
to
it.
us, yeah, sing to us.
So I'm going to tell everybody, put your hands up, guys, and
Put
feel
your
the
hands up.
energy. You know,
Feel the
if
energy,
you're watching this,
exactly.
feel the energy. You can close your eyes and just tune in to the vibration.
You are sacred. You are sacred. We are sacred. I am sacred. You are sacred. We are sacred. I am sacred. You are sacred. We are sacred. I am sacred. We are sacred. We are sacred.
Beautiful. Can you feel your hands, Jilly?
I
Like
got,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
my
yeah.
hands are tingling. Woo!
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like you need a la 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 la. You need support. Like, God's got to get back, you know.
Viva Africa.
Oh, beautiful. Thank
Um,
you. Thank
My
you.
pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure. And so then after that happened, I cannot even remember. I think it was very hot in that chamber. It was really, we were sweating bullets. It was very hot in there, I remember. And I remember you guys saying that let's get out of the room to cool off a little bit and then come back in. And you guys went out to do your thing. And some of us were left, stayed. I felt like I needed to stay in the room while you guys went out to do what you needed to do. And while we were in there, I believe it was Rachel. She channeled something to us, and she started speaking to her. And then I remember you started to do the inside the chamber while you guys were outside.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. So yeah, I kept hearing the all day, as I mentioned in the headset.
Yeah.
And just went into one of those smaller little chambers. I call in, I just laid down.
The closet that you guys were in.
Closet. And something was just telling me, do the do the do the and it kept saying it. And as I like to resist, I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I really,
My partner's a singer, guys. Like, are you not
Yeah.
understanding that?
exactly. So I resisted it for a little bit, and then I just felt really, really led to do it. And so I gave in. I did the and it was just really wonderful. And then I looked over and saw your comments.
Yes, because we were there. Rachel channeled for us, and then we got quiet. Just got speaking themselves. in that moment. He was lying down on his back in that chamber, in that little closet where he was on his back on the floor. And we were all barefoot in the room as well. And I remember it got really quiet. And then all of a sudden I hear,
Come on, Ty, it's your turn.
right?
Ty.
And I saw that it was time like, oh wow.
Come on, Ty. We got to hear
Yeah,
your
it's very simple, but
I was like, yeah. And then we all started, we just felt, and everybody just started, and just started singing the home with him. And I remember looking at him in awe. I was like, wow, I knew you were meant to be here. I knew you were meant to be here. And it just it brought tears to my eyes because I was like, look at this man stepping up, stepping into his role. I was like, wow, it was a proud moment for me to see. Because normally I'm pulling him to do these things, but he was on his own doing this. And so I was like, wow, that was a huge moment. I knew for you and for me to witness as well. I was like, yeah, so yeah, you were ready.
Oh.
Beautiful.
And how is that resonance? Hey, Ty? The resonance bouncing off in that
Oh, it
pyramid.
was amazing, yeah. And sometimes you're just told to do things, you have no idea what the heck is what's going on, you know. And I was like, I don't know why I'm doing it. I don't know what I'll do, it'll find it. And I guess it was not guess, I know that it was just to activate the pyramid and get the vibration going.
And so we did that. And
Did
then,
others join you in the Did everybody else?
yes, we all did.
I can't
Yeah, we
remember.
all did that. Were in that room, in the chamber at that time. Not the
Okay.
ones outside, but the ones that were left in the room.
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
we all joined in. Yeah. And we did the home with them, sang in unison. And then someone came in and said, you guys are ready to come back in if we could step out so that they could come in and sit and do what they needed to do, the pictures and stuff. And so you guys, we stepped out. I was led when you guys came backing up and we all came out. I was led to stand on the stairs right by the door. So, 'cause
I
everybody
saw
else was,
Yeah.
everybody else was on the other side. And for some reason, I was there to stand on the stairs. Okay, I was just listening to my intuition. I was like, okay, I'm going to stand outside of the stairs. And at the bottom of the stairs, I stood there. And then Radna started the chant that she was ready to bring into action. She said that this is what she was led to do, and she started to do that chant, and it had an om as well.
Om Mani Padme Hum. Yeah.
Exactly.
Om Mani Padme Hum. Yeah.
Right. And then as we were doing that, we all came in like unison together doing that. And it just created this another beautiful resonance, another beautiful frequency of sound that was coming out from all of us while you guys were in that room. And I could feel that this was creating an energy that was necessary for what was going to happen in that room. And then Spirit told me, just focus now. We were doing that for a while. Focus now on the Om. Just the Om. And I was like, okay. So as they chanted, I would just like a harmony over the Om section each time that we were doing that. And I remember as I stood there on the stairs, standing behind the stairs, and I stood on the stairs, I felt this. I've only felt this once before. And this happened for my birthday. We like to leave, get out of the city and go up to cottage country and spend some time with nature. And we were getting our bodies ready too for Egypt. My birthday is in September, so a month before we came to Egypt. And I remember this, we normally go out to the dock and lie out on the dock and we put our throws out on the dock and we stay up until late in the night. And so we'd say to our guides, we stargazing and we'd say, okay, we're ready for a light show. Ready for a light show now.
Bring it on.
This crazy man that would do that with me. Think I'm crazy. He would go along with me. We'll stargaze and we see a lot of activities up in that sky. I'm telling you, like incredible magical things. And that night we saw something that is another story for another day. Another story for another day. But they showed us. They came and they showed us themselves. And I remember at one moment I stood up and I said, okay, this song I'm going to sing is just for you guys. It's just for you, my angel guys. And I was singing, looking up into the sky, and I was singing out to my guides and all of the multiverses, omniverses, singing out to the family and light family and star family. And I felt this resonance of a vibration as I was singing coming. I can literally feel it coming through my throat chakra up to my neck and right into my jawline. And I would feel this, there's no a frequency that was literally moving my face like this. And a tingling under here. And I felt it again. I remember feeling it that time on the dock, and that night I was like, what is this? I felt this. I've done so many times, I've never felt this before. And I felt it again as I was doing the and I remember standing there on the stairs when I was doing the over the rest of the group doing the what was it, Michelle?
Mani Padme Hum. Mani
Right.
Padme Hum. Yeah.
And I was doing the and I felt it come back. It came again. I was like, oh. And I started. I kept on singing. I hear this again. I was talking to myself. I hear this again. There's that sensation again, and this frequency again. And then Renzo came. Renzo came and said, "Ammoye, they're ready for you, man." Me. It was like they're ready for you. They need you to come back in. I'm like, me? What about everybody else? He's like, no, they want you to come in now. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, fine. So I go in, and you guys were in, I call it the closet, in the chamber. And you guys were doing, I heard Jill and Peter and Laura and Michelle were in there. And I believe it was also in there was Shira.
Yes.
And you guys were doing your thing and talking about what you were seeing. And so it was like I quietly came to the door. I mean, I was told to sit right at the door, at the opening of the
Entrance,
chamber,
yeah.
the closet door. And so I sat, folding myself like I felt myself folding myself like I'm on the ground. And as I sat there in stillness, I felt I was being told I'm holding space here, right here, right where I am. I needed to be right here. And all of a sudden, as I got myself into this place of stillness and allowance, I got this image. All of us, like they showed me an image of the archangels that we are. It was all of us and millions of archangels around us. They came over like a circle of us, came over that space that we were all in that little chamber. They came over the pyramid. They came over so many archangels, all of us holding our swords. And I was there holding the sword and bringing everybody in, all of these archangels coming over and holding our swords high. And it was showing that we're like, no other negative and no other energy can come in and affect what is about to happen. Like we were holding this energy, this space for safety and protection. It was a protective ceremony or act, if you will. We're all holding our swords high. And it was not just Archangel Michael and all the archangels that were with us, but it was the archangel versions of us, the group, the higher selves, if you will, of us, holding our swords, holding space for us. And it was like, I remember feeling tingles all over my body. I was like, wow, this is massive. This is what we're about to do. Is massive. I couldn't believe that. That's never happened to me before. And then, so I saw that. And then I remember, I think it was Michelle who said, start singing I Am Light.
I
And
did.
so
I
I sang.
you know, I was actually surprised that you were right there because I remember, we were doing whatever was coming through, and and then I remember looking at you and then being like, "Oh my God, she's here!" And you look like, honestly, to me, because I'm right there right now, and I remember thinking, "There's God." Like I remember looking at you and saying, "There," like I just got this real presence of, "There's God, right here, right now." And that was where I do remember saying to you, start singing I Am Light. But it was just magical. And I think that was after all the energy was coming through and I saw.
Yeah, you guys are drawing all this energy of all of
Yes.
it. So, yeah.
So I just wanted to mention to all of you, sorry, Jilly, what Om Mani Padme Hum is about, which Radha had said to us was about compassion. But thus the 6 syllables, Om Mani Padme Hum, mean that independence on the practice of a path, which is an indivisible union of method and wisdom, you can transform your impure body, speech, and mind into pure, exalted body, speech, and mind of a Buddha.
Ah,
Wow.
That's
Wow.
powerful. That is so powerful, hey? And then the literal meaning in English, this is even more beautiful. The literal meaning in English has been expressed as praise to the jewel in the lotus, or a declarative aspiration, possibly meaning I in the jewel lotus. Isn't that incredible?
Wow.
So
Wow. You can
it's so incredible how we all just got what we got. And Julie, I'm so grateful that we're doing this individually. I'm so grateful because now everybody will hear everybody's individual experience if they want to
yes,
share, obviously. And
exactly.
I'm just so grateful that it didn't happen that we were all in it together, because it would have been a 6 hour, 10 hour Zoom.
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, and you
That
wouldn't have
was
heard all the experiences. And what I've just realized is that how did I see you on the step when I was inside the chamber?
interesting. Oh yeah, you said that. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you were
I saw
inside.
you. I saw you on the step,
Wow. Wow.
and it's
Wow.
So Ty, where were you in all of this? Like, so yeah,
Yeah.
When after
So
women. Yes.
when you're in, I was outside. And mom had me in. I was just leaning and singing,
Yeah.
enjoying the energy. And then we had all been called in. Renzo came and gathered us all. And we went in for the ceremony again. That was a lot of and I was just getting this image of the pyramid, just the light shooting,
Yeah.
the light shooting out of the top. I just hit the light thing. So,
yeah. So you got that too. You got that.
Yes.
So you know what, and what I'm remembering, Julie, I don't know if you remember this, but what you describing with the sword and the light coming in, I remember everybody. I just remember hearing angels singing, like everybody just sounded to me. I don't know. It just sounded like everybody was just like la, like I don't. That's what I
Yeah.
remember hearing at the time
Yeah.
and thinking, oh my God, the angels are with us. They're with us.
They were.
What was coming from the next room
yes.
was incredible. Do you remember that, Jill?
But to me, that the vibration that came from that room almost encircled us.
Yes, it did.
Yes.
That was what was like holding us,
Mm-hmm.
just like a spiral. And then I
Yeah.
just saw that, remember the golden spiral that went all the way right up through to the pyramid and then shot out.
But listen to what Ty's saying. So you see how we're all getting a visual, because I remember that. And then
Yes.
it's an antenna. So it was
Yeah.
like, it was just, you couldn't stop it, even if you tried.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that's what we'd been told to do, is to do the activation, open up the portal and let that light in.
Right.
And then they'd already set the energy in when they took me in as Nefertiti. And my
Mhm.
body went chick, 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 and I was standing in the pyramid, and the top of the pyramid flipped open, and all the kings and all the pharaohs of Egypt were in holographic form circling above, and they said, let the party begin. They were all there with us, holding
Get chills. Yeah.
space again for us.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a party of note.
There's a part, I'm telling you. I wish you guys could see that image that I saw of all of because it was exactly that. We were all formed in a circle around the pyramid with the sewers, with that opening for the light to come through. They were holding that space there for protection for this to happen. It was incredible.
And some of our group saw quite a few of the spaceships around the pyramid
As well.
as
Yes.
we were going in.
It was incredible. It was magical. It was an experience I'll never forget, for sure. And I'm still in awe that we were asked to be a part of it, and it just makes me more grateful to be here on this planet at this time to do what I came to do, and I'm just in this place of gratitude and just openness and willingness to continue to do what Spirit needs or wants me to do, like whatever that plan is. I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. I'm so ready and willing and able. Coming out of that pyramid, I felt so different. I felt so different. And even being here back in Toronto, I mean, I can't even explain to you guys just how different I feel in the best way possible. It's kind of scary, but in a good way, in a good way. Like I'm here for it. I'm here for this ride. I'm here for this ride. I'm excited for it. And spirit has just been, I feel so much more connected to spirit as well. And they're showing me all kind of different things in the dream. I'm seeing us traveling all over. We're doing a lot of traveling. We're still traveling. We're traveling by water, we're traveling by train, we're traveling by bus, plane. I'm seeing us in all different forms traveling. We're doing all kinds of, we're going to be doing all kinds of things, traveling and doing the work that we came to do together. They're showing me all different things that's about to happen and that we are continuously doing in the higher dimensions when we're sleeping together. So it's exciting for me. It's exciting for me. My music, it's affecting my music as well. I'm getting ready to write the rest of the body of work for my new album called The Shift. As we're going through the shift, they gave me this title. My guys gave me the title for the next album, which is The Shift. And I keep on hearing these different channel sessions talking about the shift and the spirit. You can't write this down. Even though I know that we are on a planetary level, we are going through the shift. On a collective level, we are going through the shift. On a personal, individual level, we're going through the shift. And this album, I feel, is just my autobiography, if you will, or a timestamp for this period that we're in right now, this birth of this new consciousness on this planet.
And Ty, how have you been feeling? Like there was a lot of, I mean, we're sharing a brief amount of what you guys have been through. And it's interesting, Ammoye, what you're sharing about the vocal and what you
Yeah,
were feeling. And then, you know, I look at it from the human perspective and the spiritual of what did your body need to allow to shift, which is right, your masculine. And then you had that masculine, that release in front of those doors, remember?
Yeah.
Because it's right, it's your masculine energy, you know. So it kind of feels like it just had to, yeah, I don't know, it's yeah.
it's interesting that you said that because growing up in Jamaica, I was a product of sexual abuse a couple times, and that put me into a place of where I just became very hard as a protective, if you will. That was my protective mode. I went into this place of just being very hard and tough, like my grandmother, just tough, and to protect myself. And up until Thai, I would be dominant in my relationships because I saw my mom being abused as well physically. And I always said, when I saw that happening to my mom, I said, that will never happen. I would never make that happen. And I would treat the male in my life that way. I would, if you're, I'm not gonna let you hurt me. If you hurt, I'm gonna hurt you before you hurt me, was my attitude. And so I've had to do a lot of healing and releasing of that old energy and belief and all that stuff that happened to me. And when I was in front of those doors, and I got my number that you were supposed to, you go to the keys, you go to the keys, you take the number within yourself of the door that you're supposed to open. And I got my number and I went in front of the doors, and I stood there and I was like, okay, it's good. I'm open to what you have here for me. And all of a sudden, I'm standing there. I felt this energy, this roar coming up out of me. And that before 2012, I used to shout. I shout to get my point across because I'm so small. I just felt I needed to be louder than you to get my point across because I always felt like everybody wants to cower me down, push me down. And I always have to fight. I'm in a male-dominated industry as well. So I always have this feeling of fighting to get myself seen and heard. And I felt in 2012 that a lot of that started to get released from me and I started to heal from that. And that's when, after healing myself a lot, is when Thye was able to come into my life and I was able to put down my guard and be a lot step into my feminine side a little bit more. And then in front of that door, I felt I was being called now to release this energy of, and it was just not mine. It wasn't just mine. It was for all of us. I was releasing a lot of this abuse that we felt as the feminine, and all of this masculine energy that was not appropriate, that needed to be released for all of us as a collective, the planet. And I felt it coming up inside of me, and I was like, oh no, 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 no. And I was like, no, 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 this is gonna be embarrassing. Please, please, Miriam. I haven't shouted like this. I haven't shouted in a long time, since 2012. So I'm like, please, 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 please. I was like fighting against it. And it came, it came rushing up right to my voice and right to my, I remember I felt my mouth open up, and it was, this wail came out. And I felt like I had to do that to release it for the planet and for the collective, just to release this wail and say, okay, enough is enough. And I felt that come up, and it was like, I started to cry. Because I realized, oh, what a release.
You
What
were
a release.
sobbing. Yeah.
Sobbing.
Yes. It
Yeah.
was just coming out. It was just coming out. And I felt somebody come, and I could see my eyes were closed because I was into myself. I was in myself, and I felt, and I saw this image of this long masculine male and a long gown, reminded me in my mind at the time when I saw the vision. I thought of Jesus, and the person came and held me, and my face was in his chest, and I felt held. I felt the energy of being held in a safety place, and then all of a sudden somebody else came on my shoulder, and I felt the head on my shoulder. It was my own still clothes, and I felt this energy of both, this energy holding me in safety, and I was able to get myself hold myself a little bit and relax. And I opened my eyes, and I saw it was Robbie, and I was like, oh, I was shocked. I didn't realize it was Robbie, because I thought, because I saw that image that I felt it was Jesus, I thought in my mind that it was the gentleman that was the security guy that led us there, because he was wearing a long gown, the Egyptian man that was there. So I thought it was him. So I'm like, it's not going to be Jesus. But I'm like, it must be this man, because that from the image that I saw. And so I opened my eyes and I saw Rabbi, and I was like, oh, it's Rabbi. And then I saw Tye, and it was Tye. His head was like this on my shoulder. You know, like when your girlfriends, they want to comfort you, your mom or somebody, your sister or somebody. It wasn't masculine energy. And
But
right away they told me,
that's what's so profound is
Yeah.
you release that, and then you've got two very trusted, Tye, obviously, you're first and foremost, and then Rabi, who's there as a neutral. You had the masculine energy, and
right away.
may I quickly share how the transformation had happened on this trip? May I quickly share about how we were laughing about me handing you the baton? Because remember, the
Right.
three of us we were
On the
talking
plane,
in the
yes,
aircraft, flying
yes.
from Cairo to Luxor. We literally landed in Luxor, and Tye was kind enough to take my passport and my luggage and everything. Well, sorry, we were in Cairo, and you helped me with that. And we were we were joking about stuff that we were kind of expressing our stories and our lives. And then I went, oh, it's okay. You can take the baton from me around the masculine energy. You said, okay,
Yeah, like,
Mesh, and
I'll
you
take
took
it up.
it, and you went, and I'm going to give it to Spirit. And we're like, ha, ha,
Spirit.
ha, ha.
Yeah,
Well, not
yeah,
even
yeah,
within what, 2 to 3 hours,
yeah.
this release
This
had
happened.
happened. And you
Yeah.
know what's beautiful is that I don't think you know this is you were having the release. First of all, it was because somebody around the corner went, "Oh my God, Michelle's releasing again." I was like, "It ain't me." All right,
Yeah.
relax. I was very grateful it was somebody else.
Right, right.
But I was sitting on the rock outside and I heard you, and there was a little grasshopper laying eggs in the sand that I actually videoed. So
Wow.
as the release was kind of happening, the little feminine energy, because
Yeah.
remember, we were in a masculine temple.
Yes.
So it had to be. So everything you're saying that you just couldn't suppress it anymore. So it's so beautiful when you put all these pieces together. You were releasing, and then I'm watching this little grasshopper going, thank you, gorgeous. This is just beautiful. Just there she was, just laying her eggs in the soil. And I became so protective over her because
Right.
then Renzo walked out, and she actually jumped, and I was like, because I was like, wow, there's a grasshopper. And then I went, she gets vibration long before I even get vibration. Like, stop it,
Yeah, exactly, right?
you know? But isn't that beautiful just how
Um,
everything succinctly came together? And I want to honor you guys for just allowing. You know, you can't make this stuff up, like you say,
no,
even
you
if you
can't.
try. And just out of interest, what was the key that you took? What was the number?
Number two,
Okay, do you know
duality.
what that is in numerology?
I know that it's what is feminine and masculine energy coming into harmony.
That's interesting, hey? What was that like for you, Ty, observing that whole thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on with the temple and everything. I was just allowing me to do her thing,
Yeah.
and I don't think she realized that there was a lot of commotion going
I
on. The
didn't. I had
guards
no idea.
were definitely not happy with whatever was happening, so they called in some more guards, and apparently
course
were
they were.
making too much noise or whatever the
Interesting.
case may be. So I was just kind of making sure that everyone was okay, and I was standing off and just watching her, allowing her to do her thing. And then Ravi came in, and then that's when I felt to go in and put my head on her shoulder, but the protector snapped in place, and I whisked her out of there, and we kind of went and stood
Under
to the
that tree,
side.
under the
Well,
tree.
yeah, we were under the tree, and then there were some guards
I
there, and
love
it was like,
trees.
let's get out of here. This isn't good. So we just kind of hung out, and there was a lot of commotion
How beautiful,
that too.
guys. How beautiful. Ammoye, thank you for sharing your story because, oh, and I just get emotional because to come from that background and then you
Yeah.
had somebody protect you. That's
Yeah.
incredible. You released
I
an little protector,
And
which
it
you
was
don't
male.
even know he
It
is.
was male, and this is what I was going to say because they
It
told me,
was
my
male.
guides, yeah, my guides told me the reason why the two male that it was males that came to comfort me because normally it would be women that would come and comfort was to show that now the masculine energy is ready to step into the feminine and to
Yes,
balance out and to show that it's not just the feminine energy that can be the comforter.
Correct.
The
yes.
masculine can also be the comforter, the safe place, the safety as well. I was like,
Beautiful. Wow. And you know, it's fascinating. You talk about that, the gentleman in the Egyptian in the long robe, because Jilly, you were outside and I think you were chatting to Robbie, if I can remember at this time. So we were at the temple of Sekhmet at that time, hey? And
yeah,
that was when we were in Luxor. And then um, it was interesting, like everything again was kind of like the energy was just moving and moving, and you were moving it through, and Jill was moving what she needed to move and share what she needed to share. And then when I went in after that, because the one thing that we were told time and time again is, you know, do not give money to the children, do not give money to the guards. And I didn't even think of it at the time, but you had all sort of left, and I went in and I looked at him and I got this message that he has an elder. And I went, oh, you know, and he kind of gently took me and he put me against those doors, and I didn't even think of it at the time that I was disobeying what we had been told.
right,
So you
right.
saying that you saw somebody in a robe and you felt like it was the energy of Jesus, that's how I felt. I felt like this man was pretty pure in himself, and he just kind of gently guided me, put me against the doors. He put my head very gently against the doors. Um, and then I heard Rabi, you know, kind of obviously managing what he needed to manage. And I came out, and then it's just fascinating to just listen to how the energy was transforming, because what you guys may or may not know is, Jilly, you and I were at the back of the group afterwards, remember? And we were feeling like there was some old suppression that was, for me, there was definitely some old suppression coming up. Um, because there were a few of us straggling behind, and Robbie had just given us a real talking to about holding the container together, and he's hoping that we'll still keep this container together, and that, you know, and we were sort of straggling behind, and I got really fierce at that moment and controlling, where I was like,
Come
guys,
you guys.
Robbie has just spoken to us, and we've been disrespectful, and we need to bring it together, you know. And then I was like, shit, that's the part of me that I don't like. Whew, hey. But then I remember thinking, we've just come from a masculine temple, so that needed to come up. And then there was another
Yes.
one triggered, another one triggered, another one triggered, and it was interesting. It was, and then Rada was triggered, and Andrea was triggered, and all that old,
You know.
old, and who knows what the interpretation of what it was for them. But for me, that was just like, okay, Michelle, that's the part that lies really, really low and deep inside of you, and that's what we're working with. Alrighty, there's still work to be done. You know,
Exactly.
damn
Exactly.
it. So you're welcome. I handed you the baton, and then you handed it back to me. We kind of had a boomerang
Back
effect,
and
you
forth. Yes, exactly.
know.
Exactly.
But
I
how
love that.
beautiful, man alive, how incredible, hey? So we
It's
knew we were
wonderful.
going to come back different. Julie, how was it for you hearing this
Version.
the story, you know, and the version of what? Tell us about your experience in this specific temple because it was quite fierce.
Well, when I
Yes.
went to the Sekhmet, well, stepping into the Sekhmet temple, Shihira had said to us that there were 14 pillars. So there were 7, but one on either side. And she said
Yeah.
each one is a gate, and you've
Yeah.
actually got to ask them, thank them for being there, and ask permission to be there. And if you receive a message, if they deem you fit, thank them for the message as well. And I stood on the first one, second, and I was just standing there, and everybody had already gone through that little Sekhmet, where the guy was standing with the long brown kaftan and the white turban on. And then
Yeah.
he was opening the door so we could go in there. And when you went in there, it was pitch dark. But
Yeah.
in order to get into that little temple, you had to go through the 7 pillars, the 7 pairs.
Right.
And I was standing there, and each pillar was giving me another message. The visions were coming so thick. And eventually, and it was so funny, Michelle, because she had said to me, as we were stepping into the 7, I have this feeling I've got to protect you. And I don't know why, but I have to be here right close to you. And then my lips started wobbling, and I started doing almost like a wailing that you were wailing as well. And sorry, I was all prepared on the other side where we were just now, and I had to come here because Tent was barking and disrupting.
Oh.
And I didn't want that to disrupt you. And I had a tissue there, and now I didn't bring the tissue with me, so I'm just going to grab.
Yeah.
I got darn hay fever. Sorry, guys.
It's all good. No, my eyes are watering too.
After that, what happened while we're waiting for Jilly? So Ty, you took her out, and then what happened after
Yes.
that?
Took me by that tree, by the tree. I remember giving the tree a hug. I'm
Oh,
a tree hugger. And I remember that tree was telling us, oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Everything is okay now. Everything is okay. You're safe. Everything is okay. And then I don't know what you were experiencing, but I just remember feeling so much better, so much lighter.
We were at the tree, and then there was some guards around, so the protectiveness creeped in again, and so I whisked her away, and we kind of just stood out by the road, and
Waited
I
for the
just felt
group.
like I was holding space. And
have you ever seen that release happen with Ammoye before, Ty, as her beloved partner? Was it? How did you feel in that moment? How did you feel when that was happening?
you know, it felt very, I felt very safe, even though the guards were trying to do whatever they were doing. It felt very safe. Felt like it was right. I was just, I was just allowing her to do whatever she needed to do. I was like, okay, I'm supposed to go over there now. Well, she's fine, and then Robbie went in, and she's gone, and then it was like, okay, now it's my time to
Mm.
make sure she's okay.
Mm.
It's just
It's
time
so
to get run.
fascinating. Yeah. Well, that's what's so beautiful, just hearing this once again and hearing what you guys remember is because listen to the masculine energy. It's safe. You know, you felt safe, you were solid. And that's what most of us want is to feel safe in this world. You know, we want to feel safe. We want people to protect us, and me too. You know, it's something that I'm working towards.
But we've been denied for so long in this planet because of this masculine energy that was just not balanced. And they just showed me that the 2 was for balance. It means balance.
Nice.
To balance back.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Beautiful.
Beginning to bring that balance and
Beautiful.
balancedness.
Beautiful. So Julie,
And
continue. your
there's
story.
nothing like a husband or a partner's hug, hey? A hug from a male. Just that hug. You just, nothing can happen. Yeah, exactly. It's like all could happen, anything could happen, but you're okay
Exactly.
because he's got you, eh? It's
Exactly.
just the
That's
best.
exactly how I felt when I opened my
Yeah.
eyes and I said,
Yeah,
wow.
just wow. And Michelle, so my lips started trembling, and I thought, oh my gosh, because I know when that happened in Peru, my voice became louder and louder, and I just wow started channeling, right?
Yeah.
And I knew we weren't allowed to do that because we'd be arrested, or Robbie would get into trouble,
Right.
or we'd get kicked out of the temple because they said, you have to keep quiet. So I was going like, and Michelle came and kissed me on the side of my face and like I'm here, I got you.
Right. Yeah.
And I said, oh, Michelle, if you could see what I'm seeing. And she started videoing me. And she said, what do you see? And look at this. I've just found it. Wow, you should see what I'm seeing. What are you seeing? All the tribes and all the nations from the beginning of time. Yeah. Jill, can you feel your heart pulsating? It's even more than that. They're just coming in and fading out, and the next one takes place, and the next one takes place, and the next one, and the next one. And then I just started crying. And they're saying, oh, then I get emotional again. Be our voice, be our voice, be our voice. It's time to unlock the voice. And now they're showing me purple constellations of light. Beautiful, says Michelle. I said, and then it changes. I'm walking into a chamber, and then a chamber, and then another chamber. And Amun-Ra is there, and he's doing what he needs to do. And there are two chambers, one to the left, one to the right, the male and the female. And there is a lintel above it, which holds the pyramid in the structure, the masculine and the feminine. You see exactly what you're saying.
Oh
And I
my
go,
goodness.
phew. And they're just columns and columns and columns and columns and columns. And it's a pathway. It's a journey right to the end. Amun-Ra and I are walking to the end. And now there's a triangle in the Eye of Horus welcoming us, opening up the light and putting in the key. Starting the real light to your journey. And then I see the pyramid of the Sphinx face, and it's right in the middle. It's just coming through me. All hold the light, but many haven't found their way to speak their truth. So we are not balanced. It's one-sided. Michelle says, okay, bring in the balance, Jill, bring in the balance.
Yeah.
And then I started making hand movements similar to what I did outside the Giza pyramid and in the Ascension Chamber in Karnak.
Wow.
So do you
So
see how
that is what happened. See how we were in sync?
Yeah. This is what I'm like, wow. Wow. Wow.
So this is what for me is so phenomenal is, the changes that we all went through
Yeah.
is what is still, for me, most certainly creating a ripple effect. And I so needed to hear that today, Jilly, because I felt out of sync yesterday when I dropped you off. I felt out of sync. I was like, because I don't know why, but it's just like, there's pure confirmation. When we show up for each other, we show up for each other, because the human in me is like, shit, are we, because that's the monkey mind once again. But that's just beautiful to hear that we all are in this together. Not one of us ever does this alone. Not one of us.
And
And
if you hadn't videoed that, Mish,
pardon?
if you hadn't videoed that or encouraged me and said, what do you see? Tell me what you see. I would have remembered a vague memory of the columns and whatever, but I wouldn't have remembered those words.
Me neither.
So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. And it just, it's so fascinating though, just to, because as we walked into that temple, I kept going, remember, I was like, I've got to protect you, Jilly. I don't know why I've got to protect you. And I was like, Michelle, stop being so silly. But we
Yeah.
get guided in ways that we
Yeah.
are way, way, way beyond that we can ever comprehend. So it's kind of like everything was happening for us. And it's not easy because I remember, it's when I say it's not easy to keep the suppression down, Ammoye. Like you knew that it had to come up.
Yeah.
It couldn't be suppressed in you anymore. And that's where I'm incredibly, we've said this many times, but incredibly grateful for Robbie because he just knew exactly what he needed to do in order to bring what needed to be brought in that moment. And you know what, Julie, even though when I'm videoing you and you hear the birds in the background, I'm so connected to elemental energy. It doesn't surprise me that the birds are chirping in the background and chirping. But I was so in tune. None of us, you and I, didn't hear the birds until we
We
watched the video.
didn't hear the birds at all, and they
Oh.
were so loud.
No.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
didn't hear them. We were so shocked.
Oh,
The birds were, we were just so in that little moment.
Yeah.
yes.
And if we had to send you guys the video, you'll
We
actually
could
just
hear it. Yeah.
Really?
like you've
Yes.
really got to tune into
The other
Jill.
singers.
It's just, yeah. You see, I'm still a
Oh,
bird finding my freaking wings.
And then the
Kick
guard,
me out the nest, people. Kick me out the freaking nest.
but then Rishi, the guard, started running behind us and going, delete, delete, delete.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yes.
he wanted Michelle there and then to delete. And I just said to walk. And we just went, zoop. And then the other guy opened up the chamber for Sekhmet, zoop, and we went inside.
But even that in his vibration, he was quite fierce in his vibration. His
Very
voice,
fierce.
delete, because I didn't see him walking up behind Jill, but Jill got a sense, and that's what's fascinating is because the energy continued. We went into Sekhmet, had a beautiful moment. Then we went into the next temple with the doors and the ankhs, and
Yes.
something unlocked inside of us.
Right.
For you, Julie, because remember, there was that emotion coming up. You were feeling what I'm not going to share what you were feeling. You share what you were feeling.
No, so it was combobulated. So, we were in Sekhmet and I couldn't believe that her mouth was moving and she's a statue and she started
Right.
talking to
You were
me.
saying that. Yes. Yes.
And then at the back was the vibration and all the shimmering light. But then somebody started channeling inside there and disconnected the communication completely. And then we went to you and you had your moment and Kasha had her moment. And then there was a channeling. And so I didn't get that chance for the doors or the keys at all. So it was almost like I became not that soft feminine and I became like, ugh. So all of us had a release, but that person played their part perfectly.
Exactly. I was just going to say that.
Because it made me find my voice.
Yes.
So all of it was so fascinating.
As it's supposed to be.
Segment
And
was
I came
very-
back completely changed. So that's why when I want to ask you, Tye, coming
So-
back from Egypt,
coming back.
or
I have to
Sekhmet,
say
yeah.
this.
Oh, hold on, he
I
just
have
wants
to
to
say
talk about
this about
segment.
the segment for me. I remember we were, you open the door and it's very dark in there and you close the door and I remember she'd hear us saying, oh, this is segment. She's very powerful. We go, yeah, right. And we just go in there and she just like locked into me. I was like, what is going on here? And I just felt the masculine within me being very, very prominent. And it was just such a privilege to be in her presence, just honoring me. It was an incredible feeling. I never felt that ever in my life. Just the honor that was coming my way. It's just so incredible. And she basically said to me, what is masculine? What is feminine? Where is your masculine? Where is your feminine? And that's basically what she said to me. So I've been really aware of when I'm being masculine, when I'm being feminine, when I should be or shouldn't be, or much more aware. It's very powerful. It's so funny when she hears like, oh, she's very powerful. Whoa,
Yeah, right.
but it just was such an intense trip. and you can't put it all into words, even though you wish you could. And, you know, coming back, you just feel so different. And there was just so much energy. Rabbi always said, never underestimate the energy of Egypt, right? Yeah, you know. Well, don't. If you ever go there, don't underestimate it. But, you know, coming back in Toronto, I felt like this totally different person coming back to this life that was here waiting for me. It was, you know, I was depressed being back. I was totally excited being back, just the full gamut of everything. And this could all happen within a few hours. You know, feeling depressed, feeling amazing. You know, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, I'd say. But you know, it's been months since we've been back, and you know, it's starting to settle in. And people are at work are saying, "Tye, you're different." And I'm like, "Okay, well, how am I different?" They're like, "You're quieter." And I'm thinking, so well, the feminine is coming through a little bit more. You know, I wouldn't say I feel totally safe whatsoever at work. So the masculine has very much been coming through. But you know, I'm allowing the feminine to come through as well, which is amazing. So it's been very, very crazy and amazing and challenging.
Do you feel you're talking your truth more, Tye?
Yes, obviously. Yeah, obviously. And I see things opening up for you too, so that's interesting to watch as well.
Yeah.
Like you're stepping into the unapologetic. A lot more confident. I can say that. Sure.
So do you see where your trust got you? We're trusting the universe will provide. When you decided, yep, I'll do the trip.
Sorry, say that again.
Yeah, you chipped in and out there.
Oh, it's trust that you had. Call it trust, call it faith that, yep, I'm going.
Yes, trust, faith, and hope that everything was going to work itself out, and it did. Absolutely, it did. I remember there was another thing that happened to me at what was that temple that we went to the day that we did the air balloon ride? That was another big experience. Doing that air balloon. But there's a temple that
the two big beings. Did you the two big beings? That one.
Two
Jill
big
knows
beings.
the name. Yeah.
Yes.
Jill knows the name.
This is the Colossi of Menon.
Right, but not that temple.
Not
But the
that
other
one.
one that went after that.
Oh, the Habu,
The-
the one with all the pigeons.
Yes, yes.
Habu.
There's
Habu.
a.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
I think it's the
Habu.
temple of Habu. I'll have to-
Habu.
I'll check.
Okay.
Ada
And there,
Habu Iba. Yeah, I can't remember.
yeah, and there was a part of that temple that was designated to Hathor.
Oh no, so this one. Are you talking about the one where the big stairs are, where you go up the stairs?
That's the one.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, that's the temple of Hatshepsut.
Hatshepsut.
Actually, a friend of mine said to me, "Say it's hot shit soup." That's how you remember.
Yes, I remember you saying that. Right. And there was a part of it that was the feminine energy of Hathor,
Yes.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And they told the story about how they were trying to get to wipe her out, so that her issue was kind of, you know, they were threatened.
Didn't exist.
Yeah. Right. And so we were all in there at one point, and then most people left that little section, and I was led to stay there, and Tye was there with me, and then there was a gentleman there. My eyes kept on going over to him, and just watching him, and I kept on watching him, but I didn't feel it wasn't a threat. Intrigue, it was more. So, and he kept eventually he came over to me and he was like, sit here. I'm like, okay. And I just felt led to follow what he was saying to me. So I sat down. The first place that he told me to sit. I don't know if you saw this, but I sat down in the first place every time I was sit, and I sat there and I went into the stillness, and she came and she spoke to me. She spoke to me there, and then when I was done, he said, "Come over here." And he was looking over to me, what you said, and then he turned over to the side and said, "Sit there." And I went into stillness, and she spoke to me again. That was 3 times, if I remember correctly. And each place that he told me to go into each corner of this place, this temple, she came and spoke to me, and she was saying, "You're going to finish the work that I started." It was the gist of the conversation that she was given to me, and she was helping me to release certain things that needed to be released, so I can have a space to bring in the energy of what I needed to have put on me, so that I can finish the work through the music and through the light that I'm going to be carrying, since that we're getting downloaded and going to be in Egypt. It was incredible. I got emotional in there, but this time I didn't wail. It was just it was incredible. That experience.
Wow.
You.
Each corner she came to me and she was giving me these downloads of and showing me what I was the work that I'm about to do through music and my light.
Amazing. Amazing. And you know what's profound is we were shown that, Africa needs to be reactivated. So going to Africa and, often I think to myself, like even going back into the hypnosis sessions that Jillian and I have done, there was one that popped up the other day where the temple of Sekhmet that we were in, they've got those 2 obelisks, big antennas,
Yes.
those 2 towers. And this is what is so empowering when we trust in ourselves and our team, And Jillian and I, hey Jill, I can say that we go out of alignment of trust every now and again, don't we?
Oh, all the time.
That's the human in us.
No?
That's the human
But
in us, yeah.
something popped up on my YouTube feed the other day, and it was literally they were showing me and I was saying to Jill, I can see the one temple there if you do this, and I can see the one temple there, and I was like, what? Like, what? This information was given to me, because I don't
Before we
trust
even went.
before we went, yeah, and it
And yet
was
you go there and there they are.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just I was looking at the photos. I'm like, oh my God, those what they were describing. But it was just an incredible sense of so much. Yet our faith is what brought us all together. And did
Yes.
you guys worked out that there were 22 of us from 11 different countries. I remember, I just remember one of you
Yes.
saying, hey
Yes.
guys,
22 and
and
11.
you can't make this stuff up, which are
Oh,
monster numbers. And on the Zoom, which everybody was connecting into, there were 40 people signed up because it was a free Zoom, but 22 people arrived on that.
Yes, you were saying that.
Yeah,
Oh,
isn't that incredible? Hey.
incredible.
But you going to South Africa, you're going to Cape Town, so you bringing that light.
to
You
Africa back.
Africa, so you're
Yes.
continuing on that road, on that journey
Exactly.
of tapping in to bring
Oh,
the light, to bring the light.
and I should tell you guys, this is just put it right back into my brain there. I got a dream when I came back from Egypt, because I'm telling you, I'm getting some interesting dreams. I like to use the word interesting, crazy dream, but very interesting. This one, they showed me that I was gonna travel. I was gonna take a flight somewhere, and then they showed me that I was gonna do it alone. I'm like, alone? It's so far. Oh my God, it's so far to travel by myself, because I love to do everything with this man. It's just the best partner.
Because you don't have your Sherpa with you. Sorry about
Okay,
that.
I was just gonna say, you have to carry your
Exactly.
own
I'm like,
luggage.
oh my God, man. So I'm like in the dream, like really right by myself alone, but I didn't know where it was in the dream. But I knew it was in the dream, it was somewhere far away, and I'm like, oh my gosh, really? So then I woke up from the dream and I was like, I wonder where I'm gonna go. Then I thought of the Egypt, like, oh, it's probably gonna be Egypt. But at the time, I didn't know for sure, because I thought either him or my manager was in the travel with me. And then I had found out that one of the grant that day came in that I didn't get that specifically. I'm like, oh shoot, so it is Africa, so I'm gonna have to travel by myself. I'm gonna go by myself. They show me I'm the spirit. I have my team. My team of spirit guys are with me. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine, and I'm gonna be bringing the light, continuing the work that we
Beautiful.
started here in Egypt, in Africa. So it's funny that you're
Yeah.
saying this.
Beautiful. Yeah. Ty, I guess you prep her other Sherpa.
Yeah.
that's right.
By the way, this is how we roll.
Yeah, it's
That's
meant
right.
to be that way. It's meant to be that way. It's meant to be.
We
that
all want a tie. Yeah.
I know, right? Oh my God.
Actually,
Wait.
I think his manager looks like his manager will be joining her in South Africa.
No, because I found out today that I got the other grant to be
Yeah,
able to do
so-
that. But that's still not. But
We'll
it's-
see, we'll see,
yeah.
but she'll either be alone or with
I think
his
I'm still
name.
gonna be alone. Yeah.
His name is Mike,
Is
so it'll be fun.
that Mary? I did a session with Mary Sharp, and she said Michael, Archangel Michael sent Mike.
Wonderful.
Archangel Michael's my main guy.
Well,
Yeah.
let's get technical here. Michael sent Michael and Michael. There's two Michaels.
Two
on the
Michaels,
team.
but yes, he said Michaels. So there would be no mistake because I keep on asking Spirit. I don't want to make any more mistakes when it comes to who's for me and who's not for me. Just when I asked for Ty,
Yes.
I wanted to
Bring it
be
in.
yes. I want when he comes, I want to be sure that it is him. He sent a man that has the same last name as me. But I always say to my girlfriends, when I get married, I don't want to change my last name. And he changed his last name before we met. From his
Yeah,
Russian
so
name
just
to
to be
Evans.
clear, my last name was Shurstabatovich, which
Oh my
is
word.
of
Russian.
Russian descent. My father
That was like self-sabotage.
Shurstabatov.
Shurstabatov.
And so now I'm Evans, just for this one that I had to do.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But very, very clear to me.
So when he came, my grandfather came through that session with Jill and said he was in the room like, I got it now. Like, oh wow. So you can't write this stuff. You can't make this stuff up.
No, I know.
Right?
Well, guys, I
Michael
have to
and
love and
Michael.
leave you. So, so sorry, Julie, I never communicated
No,
that.
no, that's good. I think we have completed. Are we complete?
Yes. We are complete.
So
Yeah.
thank
Fun,
you so
wasn't it?
much. Yeah, it goes so quickly. I mean, your experiences are phenomenal, and I'm so glad you've changed because Michelle and I have felt the change as well. It's just huge. And thank you for your time and all the very, very best for your Africa trip. Were you going to be at Afro Fest? What's it called?
Yes, South Africa, Afrifest South Africa. Yes, and I'm representing for Canada and Jamaica.
Beautiful.
Excellent. So thank you. Lots and lots of love.
And
And
it's
thanks
just
for joining us,
so
Mish.
pure seeing you guys again. And thank you for holding the light, holding the space, opening up and touching everybody's hearts like
Me
that.
too.
You know me, it's
Me
always about here. So thank you. I love
Me
you
too.
guys.
We
Yeah.
love you so very
Lots of
much.
love.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Julie.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.